So product life cycle strategies, we've got any product will go through one, two, three, four, five stages. Stage number one is product development. Product development is when you are still coming up with the product. So you're still in the thinking. Now, of course, here, as you can see here, we have this timeline. Here we have the profits will be negative, and you probably have zero sales, right? Because you're still thinking about the product. You probably have a lot of costs. Maybe you pay people, maybe you pay for tests. After the product development, you introduce the product. So that's when you start the commercialization. So all of those 8 steps we discussed in the product development are here. And then after here, you will move on with the product commercialized in the markets. You have a new product, then it will start to have some small share sales. And of course, as you have more sales, then your losses will start to pick up and become more less and less until it reaches break even, which is right here where you have all of your costs covered. Then here maybe you will start to make profits. After the introduction stage and after people are still learning about your product and maybe you have done a launch and people are just looking at your new product, maybe trying it out, maybe liking it, maybe uh, getting to know it, you start to go to the growth stage. The growth stage where more and more people buy, maybe buy again, maybe you get all of those innovators to buy, and then the people who are followers starts to buy, and here you start to increase in your sales. And you can see this is the highest increase throughout the life cycle, and then also your profit starts to increase as well. And then you reach the maturity, and the maturity, not big growth, but you're already on a high sales. So maybe here it's a more steady type. Everyone knows your product. All the customers who want your product buy it, and you get your maximum profit levels. And then after the maturity, it starts to drop. So after maturity, you will reach the decline stage, where your sales starts to decrease, and also your profit starts to decline. If you think about examples, let's say, for example, if we're talking about the first iPhone 3. It took a while to develop it. After they made it, it started to pick up, and then everyone bought the iPhone 3. And then after a while, it reaches the maturity. And then once it reached maturity, then it kind of declines. And you can see those companies, they understand this life cycle. So they don't keep it for a long time. They have to come up with the next new product, which is, let's say, the iPhone 4. And then they come up with the next iPhone 5 and then iPhone 6, you see. So they try to make it a new product, they develop it, they make new technologies, they add new features, trying to capture customer demands and interests. Let's see. Here we've got product development, that sales are zero. Introduction, sales grow. Growth, that's when you have a rapid market acceptance. We have most profits increase. And then we have maturity, that's when you slow down in your sales and your profit level off. And then you have decline, that's when sales fall and your profits drops on this product. So maybe you want to come up with another new product. Sometimes you have products that have a short lifespan, maybe 2, 3 years, mobile phones. If you think about, you guys remember Kodak, remember those cameras? You take a picture and you immediately get a print. Do you remember those? Maybe it took a while. The product lasted for a while and then it dropped completely out. You think about products like, what's an average age of a TV model? So there's a new TV model that takes maybe 2, 3 years, until it completely dies. Some products will take maybe 30, 40 years. Can you think of a product that has been there for a long time? I don't know, classic chair, maybe they take a long time from the introduction until they completely mature. No one uses those types of chairs. So, depending on what product, depending on what life cycle. we'll look into product life cycles. Sometimes you may consider these strategies. Maybe one product is depending on over time. Some products life cycle will be more like stylish, so it will go up and then will go down, then go back again. So it's more like a style that goes over time. Can you think of a product that is more stylish? So it comes and back, and then people no one buy it, and then now everyone buys it again. Uh, sometimes some clothes brands, it becomes very fashionable. Uh, Now, of course, sometimes the difference between a style and a fashion is that fashion it goes up and then goes out. You see, so this is a fashion these days, and then it goes. Maybe it doesn't come back again necessarily. While a style will go up and then maybe come back. Okay. And then we also have the idea of a fad. A fad is something that goes up very quickly and then it dies very quickly. Something that everyone buy, let's say, those headphones. Everyone buys those headphones, and then very short time, and then it's gone, right? No one buys these headphones anymore. They're no longer, the fashion that went very quickly up and down. A fad are temporary periods of unusually high sales driven by consumer enthusiasm and immediately product or brand popularity. This is a pet rock that also went very fad. And now go. If we go through the stages, we have the introduction stage, slow growth, little no profit, and high distribution. Okay, this is the introduction when you first come up with your new product. And then the growth, we have a sales increase, as we said. New competitors maybe come to the market. Maybe the price will be more stable in the growth stage. There's a declining and decline to increase the volume. Customers education. Profit increases and promotion and manufacturing cost gain economy of scale. So here, once you are in a growth stage, you can, let's say, if you make an advertisement on a very famous TV channel, maybe it will be worth it during growth stage because this will be an economy of scale. You make one big promotion, everyone hear about it, and everyone buy it. You can do that in the growth stage because you're growing and you have the money to do it. Maturity stage, it's more of a you slow down on your sales. Many suppliers, sometimes you start to get substitutes products. Overcapacity leads to competition, increased promotion, research and development to support sales and profit. So if you think about, you remember iPhone when they did iPhone 3, then very quickly we start to see Samsung coming. We saw, after this, we noticed the Android started to come. So as soon as you have a new product and it reaches this high growth, and then you start to, once you reach this maturity, there will be a lot of substitutes and maybe overcapacity leads to competition. Maybe there's so much demand to the point where competitors find an economic profit, so they start to join in. And then in the maturity stage, there is this market modification, product modification, and marketing mix modifications. Many times in the maturity, you don't want to decline fast. So sometimes you will do this market modification or a product or a marketing. So, remember when, iPhone 4 was the stable new product for iPhone. There was very high penetration and they decided to do this S to add these features that to compete with it. So during that stage, they wanted to make sure that they can modify the product or add something to it to make it sustain and last longer. And they also send those messages that it's the same high quality product with a small improvement. This way, they maintain customer expectations that this is not a big jump, unlike moving to 5 or 6 or 7. Decline stage, that's when you maintain the product, you want to harvest the product, or you want to drop the product. So either declining, you want to keep whatever you can, or get the profit and go. You guys remember, anyone noticed, Microsoft when they suspended their XP support? Here, you know, uh, no longer maintain. You have a lot of other versions that you want to maintain. They had this, version 8. They want to give you, maybe immediately move you to 10 for free. Uh, Maybe you want to get the people to pay. They give you this small price to upgrade to the next product. This way they can harvest whatever remaining they can get. Or maybe they just want to drop it and no longer want to support it. Product decisions and social responsibilities, public policy regulations regarding development and dropping products, patents, qualities, and safety you want to consider. Sometimes you can't make a product and stop supporting it next day if you want. Sometimes there are rules and regulations. There is a minimum that you have. Sometimes you're required by law to maintain or keep your spare parts, or by contracts, or maybe customer commitments. If I sell you a printer and tomorrow I stop supplying you with the cartridges, then what happens? Maybe customers will go and complain and will claim that you're required to continue provide the support needed for the product, or maybe maintain that it is, quality support, maybe safety issues. Do you guys know KitKat? Determining what products and services to introduce to which countries. That's when you go internationally. Do you guys know that anyone have tasted Kit Kat in different parts of the world? If you see, Kit Kat maybe in the States will be less fatty. Maybe in Europe it is more fatty. Maybe in middle of Africa will be more sugar in it. There's also some, maybe there's some customizations of the products, and maybe adaptation to the product in some countries. Um, Sometimes the packaging. Have you seen this packaging here on the screen? Maybe this packaging is unique for a particular market. Some markets they will accept the pink color. Some markets will prefer the yellow color. Some markets will have the black color is better. So sometimes different countries may have different perceptions or preferences towards how the product look, packaged, labeled. Sometimes there are rules and regulations, what you should write, what you should not write on a label. So there are lots of issues you need to take care when you go international. And that's the end of this chapter. Do you have any questions?